guys, welcome to another training school with JEO. Alright, so today we're going to be looking at a very important topic in technical analysis that's very overlooked. Very overlooked, especially if you want to have a long-term bias of view. So this is something I want us to really pay attention to. You already know the topic. We've been promoting this for a while. So today we're going to be looking at logarithmic scale versus arithmetic scale. So however, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin as a case study because I think it really applies to Bitcoin a lot, or maybe just crypto in general. But Bitcoin has been around for a long time, so we'll have more data to really look at. So first of all, what is price scale? What's a price scale? What is a price scale? A price scale basically represents the format price is displayed based on the y-axis. So we'll look at this how it actually looks like on the chart. So if you know, normally you open your charting platform, you see price on the y-axis, maybe on the right hand side, and it's plotted against time on the x-axis. Normally the default for most of these platforms, you see like a, it's linear from if it's by, say, maybe we're looking at currencies, for example. You might see that that price range might just be 2p by 2p or 4p by 4p, or it just depends. So that will refer to as linear. It's quite linear chart. So we have different type of price scaling. So you should know this if you don't know it already. There are different types of price scaling. So the two most common price scaling method are the logarithmic arithmetic or linear price scale, or the logarithmic price scale. This method of price scaling, they are not the same. However, the linear price scale is the most common one, the one that everybody knows about. If you open your MetaTrader, you open your trading view, that's the default for most everything. But sometimes you need to have a good view of what has happened before, and especially for the linear price scale, you will not be able to see or really understand what has happened before because of what we are going to be looking at today. So what is arithmetic scale or the linear price scale? So arithmetic scale basically represents the price on the y-axis using equidistant spacing. This was just basically what I was saying before, where price on the y-axis is basically equal as they go up, right? They are equal. So that's basically in a linear format. So there are some advantages to this. Advantage of using the linear price scaling or the arithmetic price scaling, it is like the most common method. Everybody's used to it. So you can see, because when it comes to technical analysis, sometimes it's good to look at what everybody's looking at. So that gives you an edge to know what the general consensus might be sometimes. So that in that way, you want to still be using the linear method, because trust me, everybody's saying it that way. So why not you too? Then also very useful for day trading, because you don't want to be looking at a distorted kind of view when it comes to day trading. Very useful. But one of the major disadvantages of the arithmetic price scaling is that it does not tell the true story of the past. This is something you need to note. It does not tell the true story of the past. It's basically just saying, okay, it will just plot price as is. But you will that can sometimes make previous significant move look very insignificant. So let's look at some examples. Here this is a chart of Bitcoin from like 2000 that's like 2016. You can see how the price of Bitcoin really went up in 2017 before the crash that saw it drop to like maybe 3K or something. Then we later started seeing some price rise. Now we're seeing this big move. In actual fact, you think that, let me shift my tester. In actual fact, you think that this move here from say 2020 to current say 2022 was, in terms of percentage value, was better than 2017, but that's not true, because now you are looking at 2017, it looks so insignificant, but in reality it was more major than this. Why are we saying that this now looks so relevant and big and huge, like it's not taking over the chart? Of course, because we are using a linear scale here. You can see the linear scale 10 from 5,000 to what 10,000 to 15,000, 15,000 to 20,000 to 25,000. So it's like just adding 5k to it on the y-axis, which is the price scale. So this is something we should note, because of the big moves in the past can suddenly look so insignificant, because one of the biggest moves of Bitcoin, right till date, still the 2017 move, not this one that looks so somehow here. So now let's look at it. There's this there's a trading indicator called the price oscillator. This basically tells us a relationship between price and the 200-day moving average, so the way I've set the indicator. So in terms of percentage term, so you see that in 2017, price volatility in that during that time was very high compared to even now. The highest price went to in terms of above this 200-day moving average of Bitcoin was lesser than when in the period of 2017. So that tells you a lot. That tells you that 2017 move was very significant compared to today. So I'll show you how you can use this in your technical analysis later on, but this is just to tell you that you should not only see things from a linear scale price chart system. That's so distorting. You cannot really fully kind of benefit from it. So let's look at logarithmic scale, price scale. So this represents price spacing that is based basically on percentage terms. So percentage terms is very important when it comes to business, in anything, any sphere of business, whether you are just a regular business person or in short any human being. I've been thinking in percentage terms since like far. I think it's very important you learn how to think in percentage terms, because that's the easiest way to compare, right? So somebody makes 10k but spends 2k to make 10k, but there's somebody that made 12k but spends 10k to make the 12k. So you are seeing the difference. So it's not so much about how much you make or how much you lose also, but the percentage value is, or percentage terms, you can easily compare to when you think in hard figures, just like regular numbers. That's not the best way to think about it. So basically, the logarithmic price scale is not so common because this is usually not the default when it comes to price style. You usually see the arithmetic scale. So advantages of the logarithmic scale, why you should be looking at it. It's very useful to gauge drastic price changes in the past. That was something you could see that the arithmetic scale could not really give us. So you could not really see what has happened before well. Except maybe you zoom in and you know kind of, especially because personally when I'm trading I like to have a long-term bird-eyes view. So if you want to have that type of view and see what has happened before and know kind of what kind of volatility you should expect, you will need to be using the logarithmic price scale. So it's also useful at long-term chart, like I was saying. Useful at long-term chart, like maybe you're looking at the daily, weekly, monthly. I use it, especially because personally, this might not be so useful for day trading. Like I said, day trading you should probably stick with using the linear method or the arithmetic method in terms of price scaling. However, some day traders actually look at longer term charts to know how to place day trades. Personally, I cannot even place a day trade without looking at that's when I day trade. I cannot place a day trade without at least looking at the daily time frame to know what's happening in long term view at least. So that's something to take note, and one of the ways to do that is pretty much you will see what I will show you in a bit. So disadvantage of the logarithmic price scale. What is the disadvantage? So it may be, it's like, let's just say it may not be useful for intraday traders, like I said. It may not be useful for intraday traders. So that's pretty much it. So let's look at examples of logarithmic scales. All right. Now you can see how significant in percentage terms price was from the 2016 period to 2017 compared to the 2020 move. Because now we're not looking at a simple linear price scale. Now we're not looking at in terms of percentage moves. Percentage moves. This is, I think, it's a better way to look at long-term charts sometimes, because now we know how significant this move was, and this also is telling us that maybe the price of Bitcoin is maturing, meaning it's becoming kind of less volatile as the years goes by. It's not compared to other crypto. Bitcoin is not like the standard when it comes to cryptocurrency. Because it was actually the first to be famous or something, I don't know. So this kind of tell us that okay, maybe Bitcoin, the price is now not like it's stable yet, but compared to before, or maybe we can still see this kind of move. I don't know, it's possible, but so far so good. The moves, just imagine the price drop we saw from 2017 to about 2019. Yeah, we also saw a short rally and some form of bearishness to 2020 before now we're not seeing this big move. Even this was the crash that people were complaining about. I saw someone a video of some sorts. The guy was saying he invested 500,000 naira on his Binance, and now he's only seeing I think about 50,000 or so. So I think it was maybe that guy was his mentor or some sort, to saying he should be giving back his money that he doesn't want to trade Bitcoin again or whatever, the crypto. And I'm like, okay, maybe the person, I don't know the situation, but it's just funny because that just shows lack of understanding of history. So if you understand the history of Bitcoin, you should know that on average, Bitcoin can move up to 50% a month, up or down. So you should consider that when you are putting your trade on. So that's a topic totally for another day, how to set all this stuff up. You do not go into an asset like Bitcoin without understanding that, this thing can move crazily. So that's I think where the next example we're going to be looking at comes in. Now, like I showed you guys in the first arithmetic scale, the same PPO applied. Now you can see the true story, how the PPO has already told us this even before we looked at the logarithmic scale chart. Where we look at the 2017 history, seeing that was a very volatile moment. Compared to now, not so volatile. It's more like it's there, but not like big compared to that year. So people that are complaining about crypto now, what about the guys that were holding in this time? You have to think like long term, understand the behavior of an asset before you put money in the asset. So we know that price of Bitcoin on average can rise so high in relation to its moving average. In fact, the highest was still 2017, not 2020, sorry, 2017, 2018. I think that period, that's the highest. So right now, what I'm seeing now, looking at the logarithmic scale, we can see that there's this kind of a range happening, and this can be huge to the upside or to the downside. So if we see a breakout here, then that can be deadly for many accounts to the downside. But to the upside, it will mean a very huge breakout coming. So that's something I'm watching. Matter of fact, I'm prepared to even invest in Bitcoin around this level if things go the way I expect. And by the way, that's not an investment advice for you to go and buy Bitcoin here, so I'm just saying for myself. So let's look at the drawdowns. We can see from year to year, we had like from the high to the low of the bearish trend from 2018 to about 2019. That was like an 83.5% drop in price. So because Bitcoin went like down, I think from about 19 or 20k to maybe went down a lot. So why here we only saw about 50 from the high to the low, that was about 50 something percent or some sort. So that tells us a lot. So however, when we are trading, we need to be very cautious. Understand the history of an asset. On this occasion, we're looking at Bitcoin. What is the history of Bitcoin being like? What is possible normally? So that's where you now start to look at if you are looking at maybe some standard deviation kind of stuff, or maybe ATRO and all that. What is the average volatility you can expect? So like even this logarithmic scale now also gives us a very good understanding that, okay, 2017 rally was very huge compared to what we've seen in the recent time. So summary, what is arithmetic or linear price scale? Basically price scale that displays as equal level from step to step. Maybe it's adding 5 pips or whatever. Like in the case of Bitcoin, we're looking at it was adding 5,000 per 5,000 So that can change, doesn't matter, but still the increase will be linear to be the same. But for logarithmic price scale, it's basically displaying in percentage movement rather than price movement or pips movement or equal distance kind of thing. Alright, so this is where we're going to end today's session. However, if you have questions or you want us to discuss about any topic or anything you want us to look at, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. So I want to know the guys that are already watching, so drop your comments, say what you have to say. And also, if you have questions about this, maybe we'll drop it, because there's a blog post coming out also for this, so you can check the description on this video for the blog post link and all that. So watch, and also feel free to put out topics you want us to, or you want me personally to talk about. Put it on the comment section, and definitely we'll check them out and we'll try to put out videos on them. So thank you very much, and see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please don't leave without clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell to get notification when we put out video. You get like notified immediately that a video is out. And also, if you like the video, please click the thumbs up button.